What was the writing process like for Home? Because oh, you're gonna laugh. I cannot wait.
Oh man.
I cannot wait. So because a jump because you guys created something special. The music chemistry between all you guys captured it, which only a few bands ever do on the first record. Then the jump from that to Home is a pretty big jump.
Well, we toured for 21 months on the first record, and it was like
Jeez.
almost straight, you know? So we did 462 shows on the first record. I mean, just never went home.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
they're like, you know, this band is hot right now. Like,
Yeah.
the label's like, how long you gonna need? You know, and we're like, 2 weeks. I mean, literally, we were like, is that gonna be too much? You know, they're like, okay. You know, 2 weeks and then you'll start
Wow.
writing. And we're like, yeah. They're like, okay, great. So we started writing, you know, like I said, we were all pretty much, none of us were into drugs or alcohol. Like that wasn't
Yet
what we were,
or no?
yeah, at the time, like we were just not into it, you know? And
Wow.
then you go on the road for 21 months and, you know, shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember rules that we had. Anybody does coke in this band, they're fucking fired.
That was a rule.
Yeah, early on. And that changed, you know. And so then it turns to, you know, 2 weeks off, and we're like chomping to get in there and start writing again.
Wow.
And we wrote like a handful of songs, and they were all terrible.
Really?
Yeah, they were just like, we were recording in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was, you know, we want to be home. You know, we've been gone so long. We do want to be home, you know, and do that. And the label got the first demos, and they're like, we got to get them the fuck out of Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah. So they moved us up to Brookfield, Mass, where we did, I mean, there was some killer record. I think Eye Against Eye was recorded there, and Snot's first record, or Snot's record, was
Sick.
recorded there. So we knew that Snot had been there, and we were very close with them, so we're like, we'll go there. And it's the middle of nowhere, farm, you know, like there's nothing there but horses. And we're like, this is fucking terrible. We got to work because there's nothing else to do, you know? So we started writing songs there. I mean, I don't have the best memory. John and Clint remember this stuff more, but I do think Home was the first song that we wrote there.
Wow.
So then it started
So
going.
hard.
Yeah, then it started moving. They started coming out then. But it was super weird, you know. We were like locked away so we could get some drinks and stuff there. And then, you know, we thought we're in the middle of nowhere, and somebody goes, you know, Boston's only like an hour or so away from here. We're like, we know a bunch of people in Boston.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you know, then all the craziness came to the country. You know, we brought Boston in there. So yeah, I mean, there was plenty of stories in that recording session.
So you brought the party from Boston to
Yeah.
the small town studio.
Yeah.
Do you guys write first and then party after, or was there like a mix going on?
It was a mix. I mean, you know, Chino came in. We got blasted with him. He was only supposed to be there for a day, and I kept his ass there for like 5 or 6 days. He was in no shape to be going anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, it changed. I mean, writing got to be like, after we got into, you know, animosity and stuff, I mean, some of us were not able to really sometimes even play at practice. You know, it was
That's
like,
so bizarre.
yeah, I mean, that record took about a year to write and record because, you know, some of us, me included, you know, would just be like, what are we doing? You know, and trying to play, you know, trying to write a song, and you're just completely shot.
That's so bizarre because it doesn't sound that way, or feel, or more importantly, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent. It wasn't like, you know, we were a mess or anything like that. And it wasn't 5 guys that were off the rails by
Yeah.
any means, you know. I mean, I
was just
don't,
you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a part, you know, and I definitely don't want to make it sound like you had 5 complete messes, you know, in this band. I mean, it's never been like that. But so I can really only speak for myself. But it got together. You know, I mean, again, you know, we did 21 months on the first one. We did 18 on the second one. So it was like 38 out of 42 months we were on the road.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I remember 30 Seconds to Mars like breaking the record for most shows on an album cycle at like 380 or something. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, we smoked that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody ever argued it. I'm like, dude, they got a Guinness Book of World Record, and, you know, we killed it by like 60 or 80 shows. You know, it's like,
Oh my gosh.
but
So you guys are in a band, you guys are in the room, and were you just freestyle jamming, or did someone bring in a riff, or did you start playing a beat? Like, what's like, let's say for example, like, how does a song like Denial come up?
so still to this day, I don't remember who wrote the riff. I think that it started, I always thought it was John, but it doesn't really sound like a John riff. I don't know. I don't even know if I've ever asked them, but somebody came in with the riff.
Oh, okay.
And then I think I wrote the vocals for the chorus, and then it's all a blur. Then I don't know. I mean, the vocals, the cadence of that vocal, they sound like either Clint or LeJean. So I don't know which one wrote it. But that's like, I don't ever remember anything. I mean, there's songs where I'll be like, you know, dude, that's such a killer verse on that song, you know? And John will be like, you know, you wrote it, dude. And I'm like, no, I didn't. You know, I definitely did not write that. He goes, oh, yeah, you did. Like, John has like elephant memory.
Good,
he remembers,
good memory.
Yeah, he remembers everything.
So it sounds like it starts with like a riff, and then you kind of, that's like the meat of the song, and then you kind of maybe just freestyle riffs after that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like a perfect example would be like Waffle. Like Waffle, you know, Clint had written all this music.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know, the wah, 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 that thing was John. He's just freestyling, you know, while Clint is playing the riff, you know.